Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews. We have some news, but before we get into that, I just want to take a minute and ask you guys to make sure that if you like this type of content, that you hit that subscribe button as well as the bell next to it to be notified of any videos I post here on the channel. And if you could do me a favor and give this video a thumbs up, that helps the channel out greatly every time you do that. Anyway, on with the news. The very first thing that I want to show you guys are actually some images from Rebor. I had recently posted a news video which unfortunately was taken down due to some copyright issues with the Mattel stuff that I had shown. But in that video I had shown off the new images that Rebor had shown off of the paint variants of their Sautophaganax. Well, there's actually a third version, and we have the reddish volcanic cavern version right here, and this is in my opinion the best one of all. I think this is my favorite, and I really want to get a hold of this particular version. I think although some people have argued the fact that the coloration doesn't look all that natural, I think it could potentially be quite natural, and it overall is very appealing to the eye, so it's definitely the one I like the most. I probably will pick up all three of them because they all do look at least decent, but this is in my opinion the best of all. Certainly a fantastic sculpt, not the best paint apps on the previously shown versions, which you can see here, the last two since the video was taken down. I might as well show them off again here in this video to let you guys know what they look like if you hadn't seen the last video before it was taken down. But again, very nice looking, kind of, for the most part. Like, the sculpt looks fantastic, the paint just isn't my favorite. But the reddish version here, the volcanic version, is definitely my favorite of the bunch. And these are actually all, I believe, up for pre-order right now on Big Bad Toy Store, and they will be as well on Everything Dinosaur, I'm sure, very soon. So make sure that if you are interested in these, you get some pre-orders, or pick them up again when they come into stock on Everything Dinosaur. Also, as far as Rebor goes, we have a look at their American Alligator model they have coming out in comparison to their Komodo Dragon. Now, if this is the grab-and-go Komodo Dragon that they have previously released, this American Alligator is going to be gigantic because the Komodo Dragon was really quite huge. I've actually reviewed that here on the channel, so if you are interested in getting a look at what that looks like, the size and everything, make sure you check out my review. But the alligator is so much bigger than the Komodo dragon, so I'll be very intrigued to see just how large this alligator is. It looks great as far as the sculpt and everything goes, so I'm very much so looking forward to the release of this figure. But this size comparison image is incredibly cool. If again these are both grab and go figures, I need that alligator in my collection. And then as far as PNSO goes, they have unveiled yet another brand new figure on us, and this time we have an Iguanodon, and it looks so good. I really cannot wait to get this one in hand, take a look at it with you guys. I think the sculpt is phenomenal, the paint work is phenomenal, again very nice naturalistic looking paint application for this one, and it honestly has some strong potential to be one of my favorites from PNSO when it does arrive. I'm a huge fan of Iguanodon, and I think they nailed it in pretty much every aspect as far as this figure goes. This, I do believe, is already available to purchase on both the Amazon PNSO store and the AliExpress PNSO store, so make sure you pick this fantastic looking Iguanodon up today. And then as far as Rod's random work goes, he had recently painted up his Carnotaurus, kind of given it a demon Carnotaurus sort of a look, and it looks so good. With the paintwork on, you can really see how nice his sculpt is, which, being a Rod's random work sculpt, it's fantastic, but the overall appearance to this figure is so cool. I love the addition of the battle damage, and his paintwork is actually really nicely done. He's very good at his paint apps, even though he wouldn't tell you that. He seems to think that he's not all that great. I honestly think he's fantastic when it comes to his paintwork, and this Carnotaurus is a really good example of just how good he is when it comes to his paint applications. But again, just showing you, some comparisons as far as some other figures, including his fantastic young Rex, but also showing you just how nice this Carnotaurus can look with some paint application on it. I don't know if he has this officially up for sale or anything quite yet, but make sure you follow Rod on Instagram to stay up to date on when he will officially post this for sale. And speaking of Rod's random work and his constant throwbacks to the Jurassic line, we have a look at another figure that I have previously shown off here on the channel that he was creating, and we can also see that it is now fully textured and everything, and it looks great. I think he has done a fantastic job on this as well, and I'm very excited to see this one as far as his paint up goes when he actually gets around to printing one out and painting it up, because it looks great, obviously. Very highly detailed, but similar to the Carnotaurus, you can never truly tell just how nice the figure will be until it's actually painted up and everything and printed out, and that'll definitely show off how fantastic the figure is. And I think this one here is another in the long line of awesome Rod's Random Work models. And then as far as Passion Charger goes, they recently have released the 1/15th scale version of their Pygnonomosaurus, and you can see here in comparison to his hand just how insanely large the Pygnonomosaurus is in 1/15th scale, and you can continue to see some images of both the sculpt as well as the size as we kind of run through the images here. It's such a cool diorama that he has created, probably one of the nicest I think I've ever seen. I do have mine in 1/35th scale on its way to me, so I'm very excited to receive that, review it for you guys and everything when it gets here, and of course add a Pygnonomosaurus to my collection, as I do not have any in my collection at all. But again, this is available in 1/35th scale and now in 1/15th scale, which you can see is absolutely massive. So make sure you contact Passion Charger if you are interested. Of course, I'll leave a link in the description to where you can contact them on Facebook, or you can contact me and I will contact them for you if you do not have social media. As far as the Beasts of the Mesozoic goes, we actually have a look at the upcoming smaller versions of the Raptors. And not only do we have a look at the smaller versions of the Raptors, the prototypes here, but we also have a look at the fact that they will have a very cool ability to have like a jumping stance, as they now have this sort of like a peg deal that they're going to be, giving us for the smaller Raptors to create that jumping stance. I think that is awesome. Really creates some super nice diorama possibilities with the addition of that, and I can't wait to get a hold of some of these smaller Raptors when they do officially release at some point in the future. And then as far as Marco Makes goes, he has recently unveiled a few new things here for us, and one of which is the fully finished, full-bodied version of his Jurassic World Dominion Giganotosaurus. And not many people are a huge fan of the Giga from Jurassic World Dominion, but there are others that are huge fans of it, and I personally fall into the line of being a big fan of it. I think it was a really cool design that they have come up with, but not only that, Marco picture perfectly replicated it here with such little footage and, images and everything of the Giganotosaurus. It's just so crazy how quick Marco works and just how good of a job he does on his sculpts. This is again going to be a future Rubbersaurs at some point from him. I will be absolutely dying to get this in my collection because it's going to be the best version of the Dominion-style Giganotosaurus, easily better than whatever Mattel will produce, we know that for sure, but it looks incredible. And he also has finished another model, which is the Atrociraptor already. Again, we have like 1 or 2 images released of the Dominion Atrociraptor, and Marco's already got himself one created and ready to go, and it looks beautiful again, perfectly replicating, as always, what I have seen as far as this Atrociraptor goes so far. And yet again, another fantastic Rubbersaurs edition coming at some point in the near future from the always impressive Marco Makes. And then as far as Yuppie Chen goes, we have a look at his Majungasaurus again here, but he has just recently mentioned that there are going to be some new additions to the diorama. We have this kind of image here showing off some other dinosaurs down here, and it appears as though that dinosaur is going to be a Mexicasaurus that he is creating, which is really, really cool. I think that was definitely a fun idea to bring a Mexicasaurus to life here in model form, especially when it comes to Yuppie Chen, because he is easily one of the most impressive sculptors that I have ever seen. So I'll be very intrigued to see exactly how good this diorama turns out. I was already in love with it with just the Majungasaurus, feeding on its prey, but this is of course going to amp it up to another level of awesomeness. Definitely a model to keep an eye on from Yuppie Chen. And then as far as Mojo Fun goes, I will probably make a video of the Mojo Fun 2022 releases, a full video of just their releases when they do officially unveil them all, but considering last year they really only had one prehistoric release, I'm not sure how many we'll get this year, but they did unveil this coelacanth on us, and it looks so nice. I'm really hoping that Mojo Fun kind of gets their steam back as far as their larger lines go, where they were releasing, a lot of figures for a few years there, and now they've kind of cut back with the pandemic and everything occurring. It's slowed them down a little bit, and that's very sad because with their Smilodon last year, I think was one of their best figures yet, and this coelacanth looks to be another of their best figures, so really taking them up another level, I think, and hopefully in many collectors' eyes that weren't looking at them with the standpoint of being one of the top players of prehistoric figures, I feel like the last few years might be changing their minds, and this coelacanth hopefully will be another reason to change your mind on Mojo Fun, and definitely something that I cannot wait to get and add to my collection. Hopefully they'll have more prehistoric releases for this year, but we'll just have to sit back, wait, and see what they unveil on us next. And then I wanted to give a shout out to Keith Olson, who had actually sent me a link to this, but there is a very cool game coming, and the Kickstarter unfortunately for it has already ended, but they did reach their goal, which is great news. But again, I didn't have a chance to actually promote it before the Kickstarter ended. I really wanted to get your attention on it to help the Kickstarter, but luckily it did in fact succeed regardless. But there is a game called Pangea Beyond Extinction, and it definitely looks like a really awesome game. I don't normally promote games here on my news videos or anything, but I thought that this looked really neat, and again, he had mentioned it to me, so I figured it was something worth, showing you guys, getting some more eyes on the project, and letting you know that it is currently under production. So I will include a link in the description to where you can go ahead and check this out, become more familiar with it, and hopefully acquire yourself the game when it is officially available. And then a huge thank you goes out to Paleo Nerd for bringing this to my attention, but it seems as though Hibou Coop has created a few more figures for their line, as they already have quite the extensive collection and are continuously adding to that all the time. And again, some more really nice species chosen from them. I like how they go really obscure at times and just create species that no one else is really creating, and I think that's pretty much been the case with the last few unveils from them as far as different species they were releasing. They've, really gone ahead and created not only obscure species, but like a large variety of species, not just dinosaurs, it's not just like prehistoric mammals. Like, they create everything, and I think that is so cool. And they continuously create beautiful looking models, which is exactly what you could see with these 3 newest editions. So a company, in my opinion, to keep an eye on, as well as a company to start purchasing models from. So if you are interested in anything you see here, as well as the long list of previous releases from Hibou Coop, make sure you check the link in the description, as I will include a link to their website where you can head on over there and purchase some of their really nice looking models. And then the final thing as far as Mattel goes is just one simple thing, and that's the fact that if anybody was out looking for the smaller version of the Micro Collection Stegosaurus, this was previously a release that came exclusively with this 5-pack that Mattel had out. Well, they now officially have the Stegosaurus in an individual pack. I actually found this recently at a Dollar Tree, so make sure if you are interested in this Stegosaurus, you head to your local Dollar Tree, as again, my local one did have this available. Hopefully some others will. Unfortunately, with the holiday season here upon us, it was bit of a rough time to find anything Jurassic in stores, so hopefully they didn't all sell out. I did find this a few days ago, and I definitely thought it was worth mentioning to you guys. So as of right now, guys, that's all the news I've got. When more comes out, I'll be sure to send it your way, but until then, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.